So the SHIMMERLINN is back. It's not as good as it used to be, as it didn't gain any damage. It did gain the 12% damage increase while back in the patch notes, but now we do have the new set and the SHIMMERLINN works pretty well with the new set. Of course, it's nothing compared to the wizards that can do ranged damage. They will do a lot more damage than SHIMMERLINN, but this build is really good build for PvP with a monk. I did reach legendary rank with this build, so you might wanna test this build out. It's pretty good actually. So the skills are the same as my old SHIMMERLINN build. So we're using Fist of Thunder, Flying Kick, Shield of Zen, Wave of Light of course, and Exploding Palm. And for the essences, we are using Spokes of the Wheel. So when we do use the Flying Kick, we do get that 19% damage increase, which also increases our dot damage. Now, for the palm, we are using Reaching Rebuke, and Reaching Rebuke will make your palm a dashing ability, and you will have iframes while you are in the air, invisible to the camera. This is really helpful when you need to engage or disengage. Every time you receive it, you should just mash this and you should be able to get away if you don't get CC to death. So this is hands down the best mobility survivability skill for a monk. You can use the Utter Burning dash palm ability with this build, but then your survivability will take a huge hit. So take a note over there. With Fist of Thunder, we're using the Unyielding Doctrine. So just if we are fighting with our primary attacks, we do have a 10% chance to get 50% attack speed and make our primary attacks do a bit more damage. And with the Shield Zen, we are using the same old intervening law. Just gives us a dash, which is pretty nice. One increased dash gives us a little bit survivability when we do need the dash. And of course, we're using the Enlightenment's Blessing at the moment, but if you do have the new chest, I personally do not have it, it's probably better with this build because of the new meta is basically only dots, and we kinda need a way to get rid of the dots. And that's why I'm finally using Purity's Thought, because Purity's Thought will dispel harmful effect. This should be all the harmful effects. Now it does say harmful effect, but it should remove all the harmful effects on you. But I feel like for some reason, the new set augments just doesn't get removed for some reason. And we are of course using the SHIMMERLINN because this is a SHIMMERLINN build, so we need to use the SHIMMERLINN, so that's why we use the SHIMMERLINN. And we use Chastising Radiance to get a bit more damage out of our SHIMMERLINN, but still the SHIMMERLINN doesn't do a lot of damage. It's all from the sets. Well, not all, but most of them are from the set. So of course we move on to the set items, and we're using the new Augment's Riches. It increases the duration of your ignites. This is also good for the SHIMMERLINN. It's not super great, but it's still 30%. It's about 1 second more duration for the ignite that SHIMMERLINN does. Now if you do want to use the dash palm that has a burn effect, it also increases that duration. So if you are a big welly and you want all the damage you can have, you can swap Reaching Rebuke to that. Now this also, when you deal that damage, it has 15% chance to adjust an ignite. People are saying that this will also add that. Not 100% sure about that. I did try it a few times in a dummy, but I couldn't make it happen. But I heard it is happening, and it deals respectable damage, and it stacks up to 3 times. So this is, for me, this is basically 10,000 damage per 3 seconds times 3. 30,000 damage is not super huge, but when you have all the dots and the dots are reapplying this, the damage can get pretty high. Now the other 2 sets you can use, we have 2 sets. Now the one that does, in my opinion, a bit more damage, will do more damage, so your fighting power is higher, but your dot power is lower with this set. So with Gloom Guides, we get the 15% damage increase for 3 seconds when we dash, and we do have 3 dashes, so that is quite good. And it increases our critical hit chance by 22.5% for 3 seconds. So basically every time we use our abilities, we are getting both of these on. So this is if you want to do a fighting power and you want to get more power when you are fighting and you don't want to do so much of the hit and run play style. Now, if you are more for the dot damage and you're more for the hit and run play style, you can use the Grace of the Flagellant with the augments. This is probably one of the most broken set combos we've ever had in this game. There are some classes that are just outright broken with these two. I don't even want to talk about that, but this combo is one of the most broken combo you can have. The 2 pieces just increases 15% your dot damage and some channel damage, and persistent ground damage is increased by 15%. Not the super best, but this, the 4 piece, each time you deal damage to enemy 5 times, you will do about 10,000 additional damage. So basically, if you have 5 dots on the enemy and you basically shield, you will trigger this every second. So that's also 30,000 more damage. So now you deal 60,000 damage just by your set items in 3 seconds. And you are reapplying the dots and everything all over again and again. This is kind of broken. You can't even heal, because if you go to heal and the Grace of the Flagellant procs, the heal will get cancelled. It is cancer in my opinion, but this is what's the meta right now. Now I have to recommend some gems too. So Viper's Bite is really good because it's a dot and it lasts for 6 seconds. So you have a 6-second dot that will at least trigger Graces 1 time, and it will probably trigger the augments at least 1 time. Now Zipping Bile is auto one that is really great for this. It only has 4% chance to trigger, but it also lasts for 6 seconds, and because we have so many dots, it should trigger. It doesn't every time trigger, but when it does, it's really good with this build. Now there's another gem that needs to be mentioned, and that's Everlasting Torment. So whenever you critically strike an enemy, you will also have a 6-second dot effect on the enemy. So if you want to maximize this out, you should be using Everlasting Torment, although it's only 1 star, so not everybody wants to use this, but this is really good for the build. But that's all about the video. Thank you for watching. I will still leave the last game in here. If you do want to watch it or enjoy it, I will cut tech deaths, and I will catch you on the next one.